Hey everybody, Sam McKewon with the Omaha World-Herald and Husker Extra. This is the three things to watch from the Nebraska quarterbacks in the spring game. And let's be clear, we have videos on the offense and the defense. This will be on the quarterbacks. I'm not a quarterback. I'm not a quarterback coach. We have only watched glimpses of Dylan Raiola, Danny Kaelin, and Heinrich Haarberg in camp. We've obviously have a full season of tape of Haarberg to watch as well. And then we have Kaelin and Raiola's tape from high school. But these are imperfect evaluations, especially from a sports writer. I'm not a coach, but they've kept things pretty close to the vest. I think you've noticed that. Glenn Thomas isn't going to necessarily give away all of his thoughts. Marcus Satterfield isn't either, and Matt Rule isn't either. I think what we have heard, internally, but also from Rule, publicly, and Matt Rule doesn't sugarcoat things. I think this group of quarterbacks is pretty good. And by that, I mean the freshman guys. Kaelin and Raiola are both pretty sharp guys. Remember, they played a lot of high school football. They started a lot of high school football games. Kaelin kind of shared snaps when he was a sophomore and then took it over full-time junior and senior year. And I think Raiola was a starter all 4 years, but was absolutely the guy for, I think, the last 3 years. I think he started for all 4 years too. So let's just be clear. I mean, these two guys have played a lot of football already. They've got a lot of at-bats. College football is faster. The playbook's larger. Everything's a little bit tougher. But these are guys that bring some things to the skill set and bring it to the table. And so, to be clear, I think Nebraska's quarterback situation is pretty good for the long term. I think actually really good. If they could hold on to both guys. I think Raiola is probably the better of the two, but you need more than one in college football. Everybody knows that. In the short term, you don't really know how good any player is going to be until they go out there and do it that very first time, and then they do it again. College football is obviously a different thing than high school, so it's going to take some time to know exactly what Nebraska has with its freshman quarterbacks. But let's get into it. Here's a couple things you can watch in the spring game. Thing number one, and it's the most basic thing. It's not the passes that you throw, but it's the mistake passes that you don't throw. What Nebraska coaches have impressed upon these two guys and on Heinrich Haarberg as well is limit your mistakes. Limit your mistakes. A punt is almost always better than an interception, right? Like there are circumstances where risking it is necessary to win a football game. 4th and 12 at the opponent's 37. You got to throw the football. You can't eat it. You can't be Joe Daly against Southern Miss in 2004 and run out of bounds. You got to throw the ball. Those circumstances do exist, but I think in a spring game environment, it does not exist. And maybe there'll be a moment late in the game or like on a Hail Mary where like, hey, anything goes. But I think for the most part, what you're looking at is don't make the mistake throws. Learn to accept that you might get sacked or touch sacked. Learn to throw a ball away. If there's a guy underneath a guy underneath in coverage and there's a guy over the top, you don't have to throw into double or triple coverage to get things done. Again, there are not all interceptions are created the same. Okay, they're not. 3rd and 18 at an opponent's 47. You throw it over the top. There's an interception at the 3. Everybody's going to live with that because that's an arm punt. But third and 9 at your own 26, punt the ball. Because a pick there, they're starting at your 30. So watch for that stuff. Like which quarterback understands that? Haarberg made a couple of those mistakes last year. So he, in theory, should know the best of like not making that mistake. But watch to see the mistakes that aren't made, that don't show up. And maybe it's a throwaway, but I can tell you that the coach is going to be like mature decision, right? So we'll ask Rule before the spring game about that. Like, how do you coach these guys through making mature decisions that don't show up in the stat sheet as anything other than an incompletion or like a 1-yard scramble? So the throws they don't make, the mistakes they don't make, will be something to watch. Next thing to watch, this is simple stuff. This is really simple. I'm a simpleton. Accuracy. And then, there's going to be some throws that are completable, right? There's going to be some throws where the guy's open, you throw the football, but accuracy, like how accurate they are with their passes. there's different kinds of accuracy, right? So like, well, there's not different kinds of accuracy, but there's accuracy on different kinds of passes. There's accuracy to the, the throw up the seam, which almost every quarterback throws real well. It's the only pass that Philip Rivers ever seemed to throw in the NFL. The throw up the seam, right? Then you got that deep out where you're rolling out and you're throwing the ball to the deep out or something like that. Who can throw that ball? We know Dylan Raiola can throw that ball. And he can throw it accurately, but can he do it, within a college stage? Then you got that, quick throw out to the sideline, out, a little quick smoke route or whatever you want to call it, bubble route, tunnel route. Do you get the ball out quick and is it thrown in the right spot? The receiver needs to have that ball thrown to him so where he doesn't have to lose stride, because that is a catch and run kind of play. That's not just a catch. That's a catch and run. So you have to throw it accurately in that way. Everybody's always going to watch the deep ball. You'd love to have a deep ball guy who's accurate. That's great. Throw an accurate deep ball. That's always really helpful. I don't know that Nebraska's had a great deep ball thrower for a while, but Dylan Raiola is probably going to be that player. I mean, he's got the ability to throw that ball and throw it accurately. And that's one of the reasons he's such a good prospect, is that if you have receivers on your team that you're basically like, you get behind the defense and we'll find you, Dylan Raiola can find you. I think that's something that's worth watching, but just accuracy, and not just accuracy on the easiest throws, but accuracy on some of the harder throws. So the mistakes they don't make, accuracy, and then just overall composure and management of a given situation. Are they getting to the line of scrimmage somewhat quickly? Are they moving the offense around a little bit, moving guys around as they need to? How is their ball handling on handoffs? Are the exchanges good? Is there an intentionality when it comes to quarterback center exchange, whether it's a shotgun snap that's a little bit off or you're under center? Like all the small details that go into managing a play well. These aren't things that I mean we pay that much attention to sometimes. But like, when you have a kicker and you have a field goal, like the snap needs to be good, the hold needs to be good, the kick needs to be good. Most people pay just attention to the kick, but the coaches are watching the snap and the quality of the snap and the quality of the hold and the time of the operation, the difference between, 1.64 seconds and 1.54 seconds, like that difference, all those things. Success of a play can often be just a small margin. And so how do the quarterbacks manage that? Do they handle the ball well? Do they come out from center the right way? Do they catch the snaps the right way? Do they run the offense the right way? Are the guys going in motion at the time they're supposed to be going in motion? Does the operation look good? And which quarterback seems to look comfortable in that scenario? Will be things to watch too. Athleticism matters. I don't know how much you'll see of it with the green jerseys. I think Heinrich Haarberg's probably the best natural runner, but I think the other two guys are good athletes too. And then, of course, everybody's going to pay attention to those occasional off-platform throws. Dylan Raiola's got that off-platform throw capability. He's probably going to do a couple things in the spring game that make you go, wow, for sure. That will not surprise me if he's able to do that. He will probably be the player who makes the most splash wow throws. And that's to his plus for sure. That's to his advantage. You're also looking for the other things I mentioned: the mistakes you don't make, your accuracy on a variety of different kinds of throws, and then how you just manage the offense. Does it look like you've done it before, even though you really haven't done it before? Those will be the things that I'll be watching for. And once the spring game is over, then they got 3 months to work on all the stuff that they need to work on, or 4 months actually, until they get to the season opener against UTEP. When somebody's got to go out there and make it all work right away, right? But they've got time to work on that. The spring game is going to be interesting. It won't surprise me at all if Dylan Raiola plays really well. Won't surprise me if Danny Kaelin plays really well. Won't surprise me if Heinrich Haarberg plays really well. But I'll be looking at those very small details as we go through the game on Saturday. Okay, that are the 3 things to watch from the Nebraska quarterbacks at the spring game for the Omaha World-Herald and Husker Extra. I'm Sam McKewon.